Hey everybody, and welcome to another Beyond the Board Game review. Today we're taking a look at Hive, a game buzzing with possibilities. Got a nice heavy, hefty box here, and back to it. And you got says that it plays 9 to 99 players. So I guess if you're 100, you're out of luck. 2 players and plays in about 20 minutes. Let's take a look. So you open the box and you realize you didn't need the box at all because you got a bag that carries everything. You open up the bag and you've got some nice chunky hefty pieces and some instructions. That's the wrong language, so we got more instructions. Yep, got English. And inside here, tells you all the rules and some, examples, clarifications. So you could probably learn this in about 5 minutes, probably teach in about one. We're going to show you how the game plays, show you all the components, and give you a little review at the end of the video. Alright, so what you're trying to do in Hive is surround your opponent's queen bee. As I said, there's 2-player games, so there's 2 different colors. What I mean by surround is if you got this situation right here, white would be surrounded, so white would lose the game because the queen bee can no longer move. Game over, black wins. So how do you go about surrounding the queen bee? Well, first the game has to begin. You got 2 actions on your turn. You can either place a bug or move a bug already on the hive. Obviously, there's no hive to begin, so we have to place a bug. So white's going to place a spider here. Then we'll say black places a ant. After this, all pieces you place have to be adjacent to only your color, meaning white cannot now place a ant here because it's touching black. You can't place it here, but even though it's touching white here, it's still touching black, so it can't come on the board there. So the ant would have to come on the board there. So we say the ant comes on there, then black says, okay, I'll do a grasshopper, and then now white says, instead of placing a guy, I'm going to move. So he moves the ant, jumps it over there, and now the bee comes on here, and now it's white's 4th move. By your 4th move, you have to place the queen bee. This is so, an objective's in mind, otherwise you could just place bugs and nothing would ever happen. So, this is how it would look by turn 4 on white's turn. So now we got both the bees out and we got the bugs. Now, I'm going to explain how the bugs kind of work so you can see how the game plays. First one I'll talk to you about is the ant. One of the most powerful pieces, I'd say, in the game. What the ant can do is, let's say he's here. He can move, let's zoom out a little bit, he can move anywhere along the outside of the hive. So he could go here as one move, or he could go here as one move. Doesn't matter. Anywhere along the outside as long as it's legal. And what I mean by legal is, if you've got this circumstance right here, you can't lift any bugs off the board, except for I'll get to it later, but the ant can't be lifted off the board, so you have to slide him. And in this circumstance, if he tries to slide in here, he's going to break the hive, which is illegal. So, this space, the only way he could go is right there because he can't fit in that hole. So he can go anywhere along the outside, as I stated before. He just can't break the hive. The next insect is the grasshopper. Now the grasshopper is interesting because he can move as a move in one straight line all the way across and has to stop in the next empty vacant space. So he could right now jump over to here, or he could jump over to there. Let's say he's here though. He can get into this illegal spot. He could jump, well, for other things, because this is a piece you can actually lift off the board. You don't have to slide him. So he could jump right in the middle of there. Let's say there's even that ant's over here now. Let's say black tries to get in there, but he can't. So he's like, all right, fine, I'll go over here. This grasshopper can, because he can jump over pieces and into the next empty vacant space. And that's the grasshopper. Next, we'll take a look at the spider. The spider works like this. You got him, let's say you got him here. He can move 3 spaces in any direction. So this would be a move. 1, 2, 3. Or on his next move, he could go 1, 2, 3. But as you can see, he cannot be lifted off the board either. So let's say a ant isn't here, as I stated before, illegal move. If he tried to 1, 2, he can't fit in there because he'll break the hive. 3 would have to be his next move. And that's the last totally cool piece is the Beetle. The Beetle is interesting because he can only move 1 space. Like so. But his move could also be on top of the hive. So this could be a move for him. Or this on his next move. Or this on his next move. And then he could jump off at a later point. So the beetle gets only one move, but it's in any direction and can be on top of the hive. The interesting thing about this is now this ant can no longer move as long as this beetle's on top of him. Not only that, but that ant counts as now a black piece because it's the beetle. This ant basically no longer exists because this beetle's on top. So that means if black wants to bring another piece onto the board, he can do that right there. Because usually you can't due to the fact that this would be a white piece, but now it's a black piece. So he's touching all black if he brings that beetle out onto there. Now, you can get some interesting stacks because let's say we've got white over here and white jumps on top of black. Now you've got an ant with a beetle on top with a white beetle on top. So now this is actually a white piece. And neither of these two pieces underneath can move until this beetle moves, and then eventually, if this beetle decides to move, now this ant would be functional again. Super interesting piece. No? Last but not least, we will talk about the queen bee. Now this is a perfect setup right here. I'm going to show you real quick how it can move. It can move one in any direction. So like so, or one. He can't go on top of the hive, so he's very limited in motion. So one move. But, or she, because it's a queen bee, of course. But, he or she can't move here in this circumstance because if he moves or she moves, this hive gets broken in half. So as you can see, it's a full hive here, but as soon as she moves, this is now this ant, grasshopper, and spider are broken off, and it's in half. So that's an illegal move. So essentially, this bee is paralyzed because it can't move and break the hive. But let's say there was this beetle here. Now the bee is free to move because if it moves here, it's still a full hive. Or, like I said here, it's still a full hive because this beetle's not connecting it. And now this beetle can no longer move. Lots of interesting strategy. So as the game goes on, there'll be this back and forth of placing a bug or adding a bug to each side or moving a piece 1, 2, 3, or then jumping over here. And this ant is now making it so this spider can't move because it would break the hive. And there's all little things going on like that. But what you're trying to do, as I said, the end game goal is to surround a queen bee. So it doesn't matter what colors are surrounding it. If this ends up happening, and then we'll say this black player's next move, he decides to bring this ant down here, boom, the game's over, and black has won because white is surrounded. So just to give you an idea in what you're investing your money in, these are the pieces, nice and chunky. They really feel good. And they make that clinkety-clankety sound. You get, each side gets 3 ants, 3 grasshoppers, 2 beetles, 2 spiders, and the queen bee. I'll give you a little comparison here. I got a golf ball, and you'll see it's about 1/3 the size. Because if you take 3 of them, boom, it's about the same size as a golf ball. And comparatively in weight, yeah, very similar. Another thing is, it's simple, but they look cool, and the colors look really neat. And if it would focus, yeah, like it looks like caveman drawings or something like this. Something you'd see on a caveman or like a Native American tribal paint, or I don't know. I just like the look of it. Doesn't it look neat? It looked neat. Now it's been called nature's chess, but a big thing is in chess it's all very set. In this, there's a little more variety that can happen. I mean, depending on what pieces you place. I mean, in chess, you got your side, you got the other player's side, that is it. But in this, I mean, one person's placing a piece, and the next guy's placing a piece, and it's different. It's always different look. On top of that, I definitely would recommend this game. It's light, but it's got a lot of depth and strategy to it as well. It's quick. 2-player game though, so I mean, you have to find someone else you want. It would be a one-on-one experience. But it's really portable too. Like, it's got a bag. I mean, you could take it on a long car ride. Not really a car ride. I guess it would be jiggling around in the car. But I mean, like airplanes, or if you're waiting for something or somewhere. I know they have portable editions. I definitely recommend this game. It's a lot of fun, and it's portable. So one you should definitely add to your collection, or at least check out. That's Hive. Check it out.